For updates on sports stories across the globe, Aaron Akirijola joins us. Good morning, Aaron.
A very good morning to you, Ayo. Good morning to you, Rufai.
We'll
get to that in a moment.
We'll put a bet on it. Let's see you run the marathon.
Okay, but before we talk about the marathon and the race, let's start it off with some very good news. And who would have ever thought that Manchester United would actually put their hands on that particular silverware? Ended the season on a high, beating Manchester City, their noisy neighbours, to the title. And Manchester United just capitalised with Garnacho opening it and Mino making it count for his team. There were celebrations, and Ten Hag ultimately vindicated. At this point in time, I think his resolve is simple. Sack me, I don't care. So you can actually look at it. Manchester City, and Arsenal and Liverpool will play Champions League. Aston Villa and Tottenham, and not forgetting Manchester United will be playing the Europa League. And unfortunately, the loser on the day was not Manchester City, but Chelsea, who will be playing Conference League. But some have said the silver lining in the dark cloud is that Chelsea have won the Champions League, won the Europa League. This is an opportunity to win the Conference League and do a hat-trick, of European trophies. Let's see how that one goes. But speaking about that, the losing coach on the day, Pep Guardiola, there are talks that at the end of next season, he will be leaving. Although the hierarchy are saying that they will convince him to stay. But let's also talk about the fact that Garnacho became one of the youngest scorers since 2004, which was Cristiano Ronaldo. And one man, talking about Rodrigo, who had gone 74 games unbeaten over a year, lost for the very first time. And Manchester United, thanks to that particular win, have clinched the spot to play European League football next season, while Chelsea, unfortunately, would have to settle for the Conference League. So their season have just gone from bad to worse, losing the manager and right now playing in the gutters of European football, to say the least. Now, away from that, promotions are actually good at the moment. And let's talk about Southampton actually clinching that particular one yesterday against Leeds United. So Southampton and the Saints will be playing Premier League football next season. Congratulations to them. And also forgetting Ipswich Town, who has also clinched tickets, and Leicester City, who won the EFL title and actually won the championship division. So kudos to them. We'll be seeing 3 new teams returning back to the Premier League, and some of the teams, of course, Ipswich have been out in the cold for a very, very long time. Away from that,
about 20 years. Finidi played for that club when it came to the Premiership last. That was in the early 2000s.
One man talking about Toni Kroos. Of course, they showed pictures there at the Bernabeu. He was heavily celebrated. He was heavily eulogized for his time with the Los Merengues, with the Los Blancos. He's a man that petified all that actually happened within that particular time, and he was literally visibly in tears. His players, the coach, the entire Bernabeu stood up to celebrate Toni Kroos, who has looked at himself and said, at 34, I've had enough, I want to leave. Of course, family playing a prominent role in that. He was actually trying to man up until he saw his daughter crying and he saw his son crying, and he could not just hold it any longer. He broke down in tears, and it was a very emotional moment for Toni Kroos, the German international. He will be retiring after the Euros, but he can look back and say he has had a glistering career. Yeah. Kudos to him. Yeah. Now let's bring it home. Local football actually returned. Local club football, I must actually insist, return, with Rangers holding on to that top spot thanks to a massive win against Bielsa United. Enyimba also were back to winning ways, even without Finidi George, as they beat Abia Warriors 1-0, and Kano Pillars beat Doma United. So you actually see the Rangers topping the table, Enyimba second, and Remo Stars are third. So as it stands right now, things are getting tighter. Let's move to the Roland Garros. And the man who the French Open is named after said tenacity always wins the day. But it was unfortunate that was not the case. 6-4, 6-4, 6-2 was how things ended for Andy Murray. He was tenacious, but that wasn't enough to go against and also usurp another veteran in the first round, talking about Stanislas Wawrinka. But Wawrinka beat him 6-4, 6-4, 6-2. This is his final Roland Garros. He says he will be retiring at the end of the season. We're not sure yet, but he says he will be retired at the end of the season. And also, one man will be in action, Roger Federer, Mr. Roland Garros. He's going to be in action. He's going to be taking on Alexander Zverev. All right, and the German will be licking his lips And let's see if he too, because he retires also, likely retires this year. He knows this is his final hurrah in a surface he has dominated for decades. Let's see what happens today. So that is one to watch out for today. Of course, Ons Jabeur, and not forgetting Igor Swiatek, who is the favorite to actually win this particular one, are also in action today. Away from the French Open, finally, the Okpekpe Road Race, and it was a Kenyan affair as the Kenyans won. They took first, second, and third for the men, took first, second, and third for the women. But the biggest highlight of what the glamour and the color of the Okpekpe race was the fact that one man, Senator Adams Aliyu Shomole, finished the 10 kilometers, still had the time to say hi to all the fans, still had time to still do cocoa below after the race. And yeah, so everyone, including myself, were stunned. And I must say, kudos to him because the man is indefatigable. He's the epitome of fitness. No, and I envy him big time. Kudos to him.
The difference, and so let me spare the debate we're having in the studio.
Yes.
The difference why Adams Oshomole could run and afterwards still do cocoa below and dance, and these guys are exhausted, is an average marathoner runs at the rate of 12 miles, 20 kilometers per hour or something.
Yeah.
So, and you know what that means? So let me tell you, you know when you go to a treadmill in the gym, the highest number is about 20. An average marathoner runs at that pace at the end of the treadmill, that 20 you get, you have 8, 5, 9, 10, 20. That's the pace at which a marathoner runs. So the pace was the problem. So obviously he can do all of that because he's not running at the pace of those average marathoners. So definitely they will be more exhausted because the pace at which you're running obviously is more exhausting. But kudos to him, he's super fit. I mean,
we've seen
his fitness here in the studio. He's come, he's danced with us, we've done cocoa below
together. But have you run for over 30 minutes? I still have the time to still dance. I still do cocoa below.
The truth is, with due respect, if he has a very proper fitness regime, like he has, definitely he'll be able to do that. I mean, we had the likes of Sir Stanley Matthews played, it was in the 70s, I think 75 or thereabout was his last game of Sir Stanley Matthews, active football, anyway, invitational football, not, in the league and all of that. So, but concerning Man United, I think I'm really excited that we'll be able to even things out. For Chelsea...
Europa Conference League. Without the coach anymore.
I think that's so funny.
I heard that they just created the Europa Conference League.
Yeah, I hear that they're the first maybe team to qualify and be disqualified without playing. I'm so sorry, Rufai. Right. Well, congratulations to people like Reuters. Finally, Manchester United has come through for them. People have started chanting, glory, glory, Man United again. I think it's too early to celebrate. And Ten Hag's job, I don't know if this performance will change, minds in terms of
the board will review things.
Maybe review things. But I don't know if one win is enough to, bearing in mind the performance in the last year, if this, this can overshadow and be forgiven, your sins are forgiven. Especially because of the win against Man City. A lot of people would have thought it would be a walkover, they would do it. The only question I have for them is, why didn't they do it for Arsenal in the Premier League? It just shows that they could do it, it was deliberate. But also to the Okpekpe race, and I haven't run, and I had to bragging rights here, since today is the day of bragging and boasting, is that I've done a 5K race, and when it comes to running a marathon, I almost collapsed. Even though I've been training for it, I did it for charity. It's not easy. So I have to say kudos and a lot of respect to Senator Adams Oshomole, especially because he's over 70 and was able to run. And you said, I wish you captured the dance at the end to see him dancing. But I think beyond just promoting, we talked about marathons and races in different states in Nigeria. I love that this has been sustained. It speaks to private investment in promoting sports in Nigeria. The Kenyans have come again to take our, prizes, but I'm hoping that, good kudos to them, congratulations to them. But for Nigeria as well, it's great to see us being able to attract from around, the African continent and even the world, people to come here to run our races. So congratulations.
And the Saints go marching.
Yes, the Saints are coming back. They're back actually.
The Saints go marching in. This time, they are marching into the Premier League. Yes. Southampton is back in the Premier League.
Yes.
They will be joined by Leicester and Ipswich. They were able to beat Leeds
United
on Sunday in the playoff of the championship. But we'll see how they fare, how these relegated clubs, how they manage. Now, Plymouth has engaged Wayne Rooney as their manager. This will be his fourth coaching engagement. He hasn't done as well as a coach as he did, as England and Manchester United, captain, midfielder, and all of that. But let's see how this turns out. However, Edo Queens won the Women's Professional Football League in Nigeria. Congratulations to them. The first time they will be winning. They were able to get ahead of the Bayelsa Queens and the Rivers Angels, who are the traditional winners. So that's local news. In the same measure, Barcelona, the women team, won the Champions League. They were able to beat Lyon. Lyon has been the traditional winners of the women's league over the years. They've won it 8 times, but this time around, the Barcelona ladies took the trophy. Manchester United versus Man City. Yes, it was a technical game, and Erik ten Hag managed to outwit, Man City. Man City, they were the favorites. Everybody thought, okay, apart from winning the league, they will also win the FA Cup, but it didn't happen that way. But the question is, would this save Erik ten Hag?
I think so.
In 2016, Louis van Gaal, won the FA Cup. 2 days later, he was asked to leave. So will he suffer the fate of Louis van Gaal in 2016, or he will be like Alex Ferguson, who won the FA Cup, and after winning the FA Cup, began to shine even in extraordinary manners. We'll wait to see. But Erik ten Hag himself says, well, he will go wherever he can go. So we have whatever certainty.
He's won 2 trophies in 2 years. Unfortunately for Arsenal, Arsenal,
Mikel Arteta
stayed 5 years and just won only 1 major trophy.
They lost out in the Champions League qualifying series. They ended up 8th in the Premier League.
But it doesn't matter anymore.
And this is the worst performance that Manchester United has recorded since 1990.
But trophies define eras. Trophies define eras. He has trophies to show.
So let's see. Just win trophies.
That's what matters.
But let's see what happens. But again, congratulations to Leverkusen. They lost last Wednesday to Atalanta. In the
to Ademola Lookman, not Atalanta.
To Atalanta.
To Ademola Lookman.
In the Europa League. Then now they've won the German Cup. So they still managed to score a double. Which Man City could not achieve. Thank you very much, Aaron.